Welcome back. Today we're in Monmouth County, New Jersey for a downwind foil run in the ocean. We're finally getting some warm weather, and with the warm weather comes the south wind. Down in South Jersey, this wind direction is pretty onshore, so we're heading up north where it's much more sideshore. It's time to load the tools and hit the road. After an hour drive on the Garden State Parkway, I was greeted by some starched flags. Watching this boat come through Shark River Inlet confirmed that there was motion in the ocean. We met up in Spring Lake, where the wind was starting to whip up some nice short period bumps, and we were planning to end 16 miles away in Monmouth Beach. Ed scooped up the crew in the foil mobile. It was a pretty easy paddle out, with no real waves in our way. Ed was able to power his way right up. He was using a prototype downwind foil from Delta with an 85 centimeter mast. This was a completely new setup for him, but he looked like he was able to adjust to it pretty quickly. The ocean was completely flat this morning, so as the wind picked up, the bumps were able to form into a perfect pattern. After a few fun-looking turns, he stalled the foil out and paddled back to the crew. We had Steve, Cinco, and Dave on the journey with us today. This is Cinco with some nice strong strokes, but the bump let him down. There's Steve in the background with a nice paddle up. Just getting on a bump right there, letting it glide. Peeling out. Unfortunately, there was nothing behind it. This is only Dave's third time on the SUP. And he's doing a good job of keeping his balance, keeping upright, letting the bumps roll under him. Ed's letting this one roll under him, and as his nose starts to point up, starts to put down some strong strokes. He seriously muscled his way onto foil there. I like this view of the runway. Miles of that ahead. I got the drone safely back to shore and paddled out to join him. I was riding the Lift Florence 130, which is the highest aspect foil that I've ever tried. And I was having a difficult time getting it on foil. I'm not a very good paddle pumper, and I always stop paddling and try to pump my way out of it, which was not working with this foil. After 40 minutes, I gave up, paddled ashore, and hitchhiked back to my car. I put on the Unifoil Evolution 155 and went back out there. After several failed attempts, I popped up. And immediately I was greeted with the familiar feel of the Unifoil. By the time I got moving, The crew was long gone. I was going to be playing catch-up for the rest of the run. I'm using the 75 centimeter aluminum mast with the short fuse and the progression 14.5 tail. This was my first run on this foil, and it really was carrying its speed nicely. I was running between 14 and 15 miles per hour, and the wind was right around 15 miles an hour. So it felt really calm out there. I'm riding the Amos Bullet, which is 8 foot 4 inches long, 19 inches wide, 7 5/16 thick, and 125 liters. This board weighs in at 14 pounds, which is pretty solid for a production board. I always end up using this pattern in my downwind runs, using the speed from the bump I'm on to peel off and down the back and turn into the bump behind. I might have had my mast a little too far forward. In this footage, it looks like my nose is up a little bit, and I definitely had a sore right glute by the end of the run. At this point, I had found my rhythm, and I was just enjoying the glide. I must say, this Evolution foil is a lot more pitch stable than the Progression series. I'm off of Asbury Park, about 8 miles in, and I'm really enjoying my ride. I always find this quote from Kahi on the Progression Project podcast really helpful.
People think that they see a wave that they want, and that's not really the wave they want. It's the one behind it. Like the ones that look like good waves, they create the biggest troughs right behind them. It's like the wave is stealing the actual physical water from the water behind it, and it then creates this trough right behind it that you can just sit in. And then you're just riding it like a horse. Like the head of the horse is the wave in front of you, and you're just cruising. And so that's what I was doing out there today, was like looking for the waves and then just dropping right behind them and then just riding those.
The bumps were starting to get smaller and the sun was starting to set. So I cut my run short and ended in Long Branch. Ed and Steve had finished the whole run and they were able to scoop me up. That was a super fun run. I ended up getting 12 total miles, including my longest single run of 9 miles. Thanks for watching.